Not too big, but second one I've caught. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Jessica and I are here at Halls Brook in New Brunswick. This is actually the second day of our trip. It was so bloody hot yesterday though, I just couldn't be bothered to film anything. On top of everything else that was such a chore in the heat, the filming just seemed ridiculous. And then this morning, we woke up, it was pretty nice, but then it's rained on and off most of the day today. So again, I didn't really bother to film much. We've just been sitting under the tarp or hanging out in the tent, so there wasn't really much worth filming. The sun's finally starting to come out now though, so we're hanging out here. We've been doing some fishing for the last hour or so. One interesting thing that did happen yesterday, I found someone's cell phone and a Bluetooth speaker just sitting on a rock in the middle of the river. I happened to look over and I thought, what is that? It looks kind of like a camera or something. So I eddied out and turned back and got out, and sure enough, it wasn't a camera, but it was someone's cell phone and a Bluetooth speaker, like I said. So I picked it up and took it down with me. We ran into a group further downriver. I pulled up behind them. I said, boys, did anyone in your group happen to lose a cell phone? And he was like, yes. So he was pretty glad to get his cell phone back. We jumped in the river and took a swim and got cleaned up a little, which felt really nice. Now we're going to thaw out some frozen chili for supper. And before it started raining this morning, we cut up some firewood and covered it with a tarp. So we've got lots of dry firewood, which means we get to enjoy a nice fire tonight. It's the afternoon of day 3 now. We just had lunch. We had some turkey meatballs with rice and carrots. We're going to finish packing up camp now and then hit the water again. Pretty sharp corner to try and make a canoe. close to that rock. It's about 6 p.m. on day 3 now. We've arrived at our second campsite. This is Duck Point. I took the stuff out of the canoe when we reached Little Falls and portaged it around, and then I ran the canoe over empty, just because I've never run a canoe over Little Falls before. It wasn't the most graceful descent over the falls, but I did make it. Jess went over for the first time in her new kayak. She made out great. It's been an extremely hot, muggy day. We've been in the water a lot trying to cool off. I'm happy to be at this site. It's my favorite site on the river, and the bushcraft shelf that Adam and I built last year is still here, so that's cool. But as with most of the sites along here, it seems, when we arrived here, the fire pit was all destroyed, and there's a giant half-burned log sitting beside it. That really annoys me because I always try and leave the campsites as tidy as possible for the next people, and it's just annoying that some people don't have the same courtesy. It's obviously all torn apart like that because they didn't bother to cut up small enough wood, and they tried to burn that great big piece, and they had to tear the walls of the fire pit all apart to get the wood close enough to the fire for it to burn, or what little it would burn. So Jess and I will rebuild the fire pit, and hopefully the next time we come back, it's still intact. What you doing, babe?
I'm making a washcloth.
It's mid-afternoon on day 4 now. We just finished up lunch. We had a little swim before that, and I actually got to swim with a fish, which was pretty cool. Now we're taking a walk down to the beaver dam that's just below our campsite. I'm going to set the trail cam up down here, see if I can catch some beavers on film. There's also a moose that hangs out down here a lot, so maybe I'll be able to actually get him on film too. That'd be cool. They've been hard at this one, but they haven't got it down yet. We worked until almost dark on this last night. Jess cleaned out the whole pit while I stripped away all the rocks and rebuilt the ring. It looks a lot better than when we got here. And this morning, while it was a little cooler, we prepped our firewood for tonight. Jess did all the sawing while I did the splitting. So while we were cleaning out the fire pit last night, we found beer cans, a sardine can, oyster shells, some tin foil, and bones. So yeah, that's real cool to leave behind for the next people. We also found a big pile of bacon grease that had been poured in the woods behind the campsite, so yeah, hopefully some bears don't smell that. Thanks, appreciate that a lot, folks. It's a little cooler and breezier today than it's been the last few days, which is a welcome break. That heat the last few days was unreal. Another small one. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I was out here fishing on a rock. Down there behind the beaver dam, sure enough, there's the moose. For supper tonight, I dehydrated some pulled pork with black beans and mushroom and red pepper. We're up to day 5 now of our trip. It's a beauty of a day. It's hot again today. But unfortunately, there is a storm that's going to come in tonight. It's going to have heavy rain starting tonight, and it's going to rain for the next 3 days. We had packed for 6 nights in total, 7 days, but it looks like we're going to have to call the trip short. It sucks, but it's been a great time so far. We paddled into Hallsbrook the first day and stayed there for 2 nights. Then we made it down to Duck Point here and stayed here for the last 2 nights. We got a visit bright and early this morning from the campsite crew from the St. Croix Waterway Commission. Big props to those guys. They put a lot of work into trying to keep all these campsites cleaned and maintained, despite the way some people tend to leave them. For breakfast this morning, we rehydrated some sausage and eggs with peppers and mushrooms. We've already started slowly breaking down camp. We're just going to hang out here and enjoy the afternoon before we pack up the boats and paddle the rest of the way out. We've been out here for 5 days now, and we fit every bit of garbage we had in these 2 bags. We didn't burn anything. If you can pack it in, you can pack it out. So it's a pretty cool job the students that get to work for the Waterway Commission every summer have. To get to go down through here every week in a canoe and clean up the campsite. What was your favorite part, honey?
I got to try out my new kayak, and I got to spend 4 wonderful nights and 5 days with my favorite person.
You're lame. Mine was seeing a moose, and I guess I also have to say spending time with a wonderful person. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and you can also find me on Instagram at Waterborne Camper.